Good evening. Welcome back to Front Page Close-Up with our very special guest, Evan Sayet, critically acclaimed satirist and political commentator. Nice to have you back.
Thanks, Jamie. Nice to be back. You know, next time you say critically acclaimed, you could read some of the reviews. I mean...
But that's why I'm saying it.
All right. Well, they can go look up how critically acclaimed I am. I mean, because it's not just critically acclaimed. I mean, it's smashing what they say about me.
You know what? You know what? You know what? Before we continue, tell us a little bit about the big people that have bigged you up.
Oh, I can't do that. You should have done your homework.
No, but
I can't do that.
But just brag a little bit. What are some big people?
Oh, gee whiz. I mean, if Michael Barone were to say something like, Evan has crossed that line from funny to important, that's Michael Barone, right. U.S. News and World Report.
And what does Ann Coulter said about you?
Ann Coulter was asked, who makes you laugh? And she said, easy. Evan Sayet.
Excellent, excellent. Oh, yeah. Now, hypothetically...
Jazz McKay of Infinity.
Okay.
He said, I shouldn't do this one because he makes fun of Ann Coulter in this one. He says, if Jackie Mason, Ann Coulter, and Evan Sayet were in town and I could only see 2 shows, I'd see Evan twice.
Okay, Evan, how about a criticism that was made of you...
Which is?
That maybe hurt your feelings a little bit or that upset you?
You have to go there?
Or there weren't any? Who has criticized you, or what has been... Or it's been all smashing reviews?
It's been... There were a couple of times where I have done jokes that have been offensive to certain groups of people, and I just don't think...
Can you tell one of them this evening?
I can't.
Okay.
But nonetheless, first of all, let me do this. I was asked early in my career on a radio show, doesn't it bother you when the audience doesn't laugh? And I said, A, that almost never happens, and when it does, I know they're wrong. All right? And the reason I know they're wrong is because I never go on stage without good material. I've never once done a joke that I said, well, I need a joke, I need to fill some time, here's a filler. Never.
Right.
I've been wrong once in a while. I look back and maybe I was wrong about a joke, and it wasn't as funny as I thought it was, or... In time, my politics has changed, so that joke no longer... Let me give you an idea, by the way, how much my politics has changed.
Okay.
I used to do a joke back when I was not an active liberal, but a liberal mindset. And I'd say, have you noticed how virtually every cartoon character has had the same first and last initial? Bugs Bunny, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Ronald Reagan. Okay? Now when I do that joke, I go Bugs Bunny, Mickey Mouse, who else? Road Runner, Jesse Jackson. All right? Same joke, but over time.
Okay. Evan.
Did I answer any? Was there even a question there?
Some readers were very, very excited that you were going to be on the show this evening. And they sent in many, many questions that they want me to ask you. But I only chose 3 because there were so many. Okay? Dear Evan, I love your jokes. I am a political conservative that has started dating a radical feminist. Wow. This is a great predicament I am in. Is it right? And is it wrong to have sex with a radical feminist? Okay,
well, the first thing is you got to look, every relationship has its pluses and minuses. One of the good things about dating a radical feminist is you never have to worry about her being in the shower. So you, all right? So take that and. All right,
okay. Just wait. Have you ever? How do you know this? Have you ever dated a woman on the left?
Well, have you ever? Or of course I have, but
or like a radical feminist or leftist?
No, but here's a joke I did, and this is the joke that I believe got me my gig with Tammy Bruce. Because I used to be her Friday Hollywood commentator on her radio show. And I was talking about Islam and how they promise 72 virgins if you kill yourself and take some infidels with you. And I said, eternity with 72 women who've never had sex with a man. That doesn't sound like paradise. What it sounds like is a meeting of now.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me ask you this. How do you think Mary Matlin and James Carville do it?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I believe there comes a time in every human being's life when you realize if I'm going to have sex at all, I have to lower my standards. And who else is going to have sex with Carville? And who else is going to have sex with Matlin? All right? I mean, they're just, it was that or nothing.
Okay, before we move on, well, wait, let me get a couple of these questions in. Were you the actor that played Tommy in Goodfellas?
Oh, let me tell you a story. She's talking about Joe Pesci, I assume.
Okay, right.
And let me tell you a story. When I was young and handsome, and I was young and handsome, I used to get, because people tell you look like people. all right? And I used to get Al Pacino and Dustin Hoffman, all right? Leading men, they might not be
and
Robert
Joey
Redford.
Pesci.
No Joe Pesci at that point. It was Dustin Hoffman and Al Pacino, leading men.
George Clooney,
I'm
Brad
telling
Pitt.
a story here. Jeez, and then you wonder why you're not on broadcast. All right, so through the years, it was Dustin Hoffman and Al Pacino. And then somebody said Pesci. And I went, you're out of your mind, Al Pacino, Dustin Hoffman. But then it was Pesci. And Dustin Hoffman. Then I heard it enough times, and I'm writing a TV show. I'm writing the Arsenio Hall show, and Pesci's a guest on the show. And I look him up and down. He thinks I'm insane. I'm looking him up and down. Finally, I decide he looks nothing like me. But man, he looks just like my father. I've gotten old, is what happened.
Okay, last question, Evan. Oh, it's a little bit connected to what we've been talking about a little bit.
A boot? You Canada came out just have a boot.
I'm from Toronto. Take off, eh? Don't be a hoser. Why are leftist feminists usually so physically unattractive? Is there a connection to their politics?
Oh, absolutely. Look, when you are a loser, you need somebody else to blame. All right? If they were on being on the left side of things, they can blame the fact that men don't like them. Now, men are bad, men are this, men are that. So they have to be on the left. Because otherwise they might go, oh, gee whiz, I might want to shower. I might want to comb my hair. I might want to make myself attractive. I might want to be a little bit feminine. I might want to do the things that bring a man.
Okay, now, Evan, you've mentioned Rosie O'Donnell in our last segment with the implication that she's unlikable or whatever it is. Do you know her? What is it about Rosie that you didn't like? And is there maybe something connected to the theme we're discussing of her politics?
Yeah, I mean, look, personally, she's a whiner. She's a crybaby. I mean, I love it. She wrote a book in which she said, I'm a giver. I like to give. Sometimes I give too much. Yeah, that's your problem, is that you give too much. The problem isn't that you're an angry, bitter, sexually confused, morbidly obese, angry. And the problem is this. What can you say to Rosie O'Donnell? What fact can you put before her? You know, she says 9/11 is an inside job, and the reason that she knows this is because never before in history has fire melted steel. Which is actually a fair scientific argument with one little flaw.
Yeah.
Fire is how you melt steel. Fire is the only way you melt steel. Every piece of steel that has ever melted has been melted by fire. And here's the thing, you know O'Donnell knows this, because you know she's seen the movie Flashdance over and over and over again.
Right. Now, so Evan, your implication is that if Rosie physically might look like Mariah Carey or Beyonce, her politics would be different?
I suspect they would be different.
Okay.
I suspect that when you're angry and when your world isn't working out for you, when you have two choices. You can look within and attempt to make yourself better, or you can blame everybody in the world and you're a victim, you're a terrible victim. Because the liberal has been raised to believe, be yourself.
Right.
Because they've been raised to believe you were born morally perfect and you've attained the intellect that you need to have by the time you're 5 years old. It's a fundamental difference between the right and the left. The right tries to make themselves better. We try to become better people. That's why we go to church or temple, to become better morally.
Right.
Okay, it's why we join the Boy Scouts, to become better and more prepared.
Right.
But the left doesn't try to make themselves better. They try to make the world accept them no matter how bad they are.
Okay. Thank you, Evan. So let's get to this, which is connected. I think we would agree that physically, Sarah Palin is a beautiful woman.
It's one of the reasons they hate her.
I was going to ask, is there a connection here to the left, to this Palin, the hate Palin syndrome?
There's certainly a part of it is that she is very happy being a woman.
Right.
One of the things that I noticed is the liberal women all wear pantsuits. They all want to be men. They all want to be the same thing. But Sarah Palin wears a suit, but she wears a skirt. She's very happy being feminine. She's very happy being a woman. And yet here's a woman who can do the things that men can do. She can hunt. She's proved herself. She's run a business successfully. She's not a victim. She's not a victim of misogyny. And one of the reasons they hate her is that she has made her life good. So that debunks the whole leftist ideology that we're so oppressed and we're such victims, we can't succeed. Well, They hate her because she succeeded at a wonderful marriage. She succeeded raising good, not perfect. Nobody expects perfect children, but good, decent children. She ran a business and ran it well. And she saw a problem in the schools. And instead of whining and crying that everybody's an Alaska-phobe, and that's why the schools aren't good, she joined the PTA. She did things and made it work. And liberals who go, no, we're victims. You need to send us more of your money.
And I think a lot of leftists really have never even met anybody like her. Let me ask you this a little bit about liberal men. I think that if there's
no such thing.
I think that if there's a
They're Phil Donahue.
But I think that I read this in one of your articles, perhaps, that there's also a certain way that the beauty of Sarah Palin and the strength of that beauty, it emasculates a lot of liberal men.
I don't think that was from my piece. First of all, you have to have some masculinity in you to be emasculated. You know,
But do you think there's truth there in terms of that some leftist men are threatened by that kind of beauty?
I don't know. I mean, I don't really get into the deep psychology of it. I think the real thing is that Sarah Palin debunks the leftist myth. The leftist myth of me time is more important, so go ahead and abort your baby. They hate the fact that she not only didn't abort Trigg, but that she knew he was going to require special needs, more of her attention, and she still gave this baby life.
Is this connected to the left being anti-life overall?
It's so much. It's part of a big story about the left being anti-everything that's exceptional. They're anti-American, they're anti-God, they're anti-Jew, and they're anti-success, anti-life.
Thank you very much. We're going to go for a break and join us tomorrow evening with Evan Sayet, where we're going to discuss with him for our final segment, the closing of the American mind.